Chivalry Medieval Warfare is a franchise that captures the key essence of being a medieval knight. Wrapped in shining armor, brandishing a mighty sword, charging into the fray to destroy your enemies, only to receive a crossbow bolt to the face, killing you instantly. Or you'd be turned into a gruesome example of the merit of siege engineering. I mean, look at this guy. Looks like how a parent would pin their kid's artwork to the fridge. When it released, Chivalry offered a unique experience as a medieval multiplayer that saw it sell over 1 million copies. The game did so well, in fact, that they even ended up partnering with Deadliest Warrior to create an exciting multi-era DLC. Chivalry 2's existing system of classes and subclasses has great versatility, allowing for multiple exciting playstyles within the 4 key archetypes that exist. As we know, Chivalry 2's current roadmap does not indicate the return of any of the classes from Deadliest Warrior, but is it possible to recreate them using what we have? Here we'll be going over each of the 6 Deadliest Warrior classes of Samurai, Viking, Ninja, Pirate, Spartan, and Knight. For each class we'll be looking at what class weapon sets best represent the original. Keep in mind that for some replications you will need to source weaponry that is not traditionally available for the given class. How you get that is up to you. In any case, let's begin. So let's get started with the Samurai. The Samurai was a class with strong armor, moderate speed, and lightning-fast strikes. The Samurai had access to a wide variety of two-handed melee weapons that allowed it to put in a freight train's worth of force into every strike. In addition to a couple of reach weapons, the Samurai also had access to the bow. Immediately looking at the 4 main classes, the Vanguard Raider subclass fits the bill pretty well. The weapons you're going to want to equip are in any combination of the Mesa, Hammer, and Glaive, which substitute for the Katana, Kanabo, and Nagitana respectively. If you wish to have a more accurate Kanabo replica, then murdering a knight and taking their heavy mace would be the way to go. Having access to the 2 primary weapons is important, as the Samurai wasn't really known for running about with a fruit knife in the original. Having these 2 primary weapon slots is also important if you want to have the bow on your side, since that can only ever occupy a primary slot. On a side note, using the bow as a raider often leads to foes assuming you're an archer, not realizing you're brandishing 14 pounds of folded samurai steel! And next we have the Spartan. This mighty, handsome warrior has moderate defense and speed with a focus on the spear and shield combo. Spartans in the original were described as a strong and fast warrior that functioned best in numbers. To set up your Spartan, you need access to a spear and shield combo class with a sword sidearm. Considering their stat division, the Footman Man-at-Arms setup works pretty well immediately with no need for weapon scavenging. The reach of the spear and medium shield you possess allow for the Spartan to be replicated pretty well if you use them correctly. When enemies get too close, you can tear them to shreds with the sword and can honestly hold your own pretty well. For the Spartan, there is a second option for those who are bold and daring, which comes from the Archer Skirmisher subclass using falchion sidearm. Although your new health profile does not fit the Spartan MO specifically, using the javelins both for their intended purpose and as spears allows for some exciting melee range hybrid combat. As a plus, this variant brings immense satisfaction for when you line up the perfect shot. Makes you feel like Achilles from Troy.
Wait.
Don't look at that, we're moving on. For this variant, I feel like the developers themselves acknowledge this connection with the Hoplite Archer title you can acquire. Equip this title while playing so that no one can doubt your profession.
Spartans! What is your profession?
What? I don't know. Ninjas as a class were fast, light armor units dedicated to overwhelming their foes through a McFlurry of blows before escaping to the next fight. Weapons like the ninjato, claws, and shurikens were primary weapons of the ninja's arsenal, and as fortune would have it, these weapons are very easily available in the form of the Vanguard's ambusher subclass. With throwing knives galore and daggers, you too can easily be a ninja. What? No, I'm not going to say believe it. Ow, you Using the Devastator also works well, with the throwing mallets also acting as shurikens and the ability to use the war cudgel like the quarterstaff in the original. The main upside of this variant over the ambusher one is having access to the Smoke Bomb. This Smoke Bomb allows you to obscure your enemies and grant you the power to make them vanish. Enemies caught in the Smoke Bomb will be unable to pass safely, allowing you to make your escape. Either way, the power of the ninja is yours to command. And now the Vikings. These coarse Norsemen were known in the original to have decent armor and speed, and a focus on close quarter fighting. With axe, sword, and shield, they would jump into the fray and emerge either victorious or in a form vaguely resembling Swiss cheese with a mangled beard and funny hat. This one's definitely a tough one, since their main dual-wielding capabilities are gone. It's much harder to match the setup. Just like the Spartan, using the man-at-arms and skirmisher classes are the way to go. Using the throwing axe skirmisher setup, with any of the non-fruit knife sidearms, gives you access to the chopping and slashing you desire. Best way to use the man-at-arms version is to use the sword and axe options alongside the shield. Although the stationary health regen mechanic has vanished, you are able to achieve something similar by hoarding the bandage skills for yourself, you greedy bastard. Coming up next from across the waves in a drunken haze is the pirate. To finally answer the question of what we do with the drunken sailor, we struggle to make a crude copy of them using comparatively archaic technology. Yes, the pirates Flintlock and Arquebus are gone, but they remain with us in spirit. Specifically the spirit of missing a crucial shot, leaving yourself open to an impressive impression made in your skull by an enemy's cudgel. Even though these are the most obviously difficult weapons to emulate here, we're gonna fill our tankards with medieval era sewage water and call it grog as best we can. So the first variant we're going to be going for is the crossbowman, since we can kind of get an arquebus from that and the speed armor profile matches pretty well. Having the short sword as a one-handed sidearm is the best way to match the pirate's equipment setup as a long short-range swashbuckler. The second variant, while lacking the health properties and speed profile, makes up for it by being a better match of the pirate's arsenal. By equipping the Crusader subclass with the Messer and Falchion, you too can be a pirate. The oil pot also matches the pirate's patented oily rag from the original, further improving this medieval simulacrum. And while some of you may say that this is the most ridiculous bootleg you've ever seen, I would argue that this extreme bootlegging captures the true essence of a real pirate, bringing us right back around to being accurate. And finally, the knight. Now, I've spent several weeks with no sleep ruminating over how this could be implemented. The majority of my family believes me to be dead and my power has been turned off, forcing me to make and edit this using a small colony of rats on treadmills. However, despite all this, I've reached the conclusion that there is simply no way this class can be replicated. Now, while some of you may call this harsh, I see this as a major failing on the part of Torn Banner, and they should act immediately to remedy this, adding in the weapons, armor, and skills required to recreate this iconic and quintessential class. If this doesn't happen, well, Torn Banner, expect a strongly worded letter. And that's that. Thank you everyone for watching. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing here and following on Twitch. I'll put a link to that in the description. If you have any thoughts on how to approximate these deadly warriors, feel free to comment on how to further perfect this recipe. Either way, take care.